rhythm of the bass mark. Man up, feel the rhythm of the bass mark. Hip and the drum and come around and bless me. Jumping up, jumping up. Bite all my stress. Temperature is rising up. 2,000 people on the dance floor. Jumping up, pumping up. Temperature is rising.
Big booby ladies.
Yeah, shut up. The mechanic is
Big booby ladies.
the mechanic is why you like it.
Okay, here we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? For the third time, it's Andrew of Netflix and Chills Tabletop Gaming, coming to you through the power of internet from the Chills Cards Collectible Game Room. I'm here with my two co-hosts and cardboard cohorts, Kaleb and Opal, and joined with us tonight is Opal's very good friend, Rin, who's a massive Vanguard Card Fight nerd. If you want to know about Vanguard Card Fight, this is the guy. So as we were saying earlier, Bushi Road created Vanguard Card Fight back in 2010. We got Marcelo creeping in the doorway there. Say hey, Marcelo.
Hi.
And so that's your first time seeing Marcelo on stream. So Bushy Roads created in 2010. It's been around for 12 years now.
Yes.
We were talking, it was hugely successful in Japan and still is, and that's kind of what's keeping the game afloat right now is the success in Japan. They've had novels, mangas, radio shows, animes, all kinds of stuff with Vanguard Card Fight. Now, I will say, when I was looking at the history of Vanguard Card Fight, a lot of those things didn't last very long. I know the anime was one season, maybe two.
The anime's still going.
Is it still going?
Yeah, it's
Actually,
still going.
Okay. All right. I thought that they said it was discontinued a year after it came out.
The anime is still going. The manga actually just recently got a reissue with the new lore that they're going under, which is the cross epic stuff they're doing, and they still got actual campaigns in Japan where they're partnering with restaurants to get different food items that are themed for stuff like it. So, a lot better marketing strategy over in Japan, but Bushy Road just hasn't taken that step over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I was looking it up, I noticed they have a massive marketing department in Japan.
Yeah.
Where it's just like almost seems like their number one game almost. Well, it's probably not, but I mean we have our big three: Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic, of course, and then Flesh and Bloods came into the scene. And like we were saying, when we go into our local LGSs, we don't see a lot of Vanguard product, mostly because, like I said, Japan's keeping the game afloat.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple stores here in town that has very little product of Vanguard.
Yeah.
The only place that I've seen that actually carries a really decent selection at the moment is the Next Level Games down at the Rivergate Mall. That's the only place I've seen that has an actual massive selection.
So, as I was saying, Rin is our massive Vanguard nerd. He's an expert at it. He knows everything about it. Opal's second with that nerdiness. I've played the game several times with Opal. She showed me how to play, and I actually kind of enjoy the game. And then we have Kaleb, who is just dumbfounded, knows absolutely nothing about Vanguard Card Fight. But he hates super animated card games, but he will like this one for two reasons, I'm sure, as we discussed last on Tuesday with the Angel card that you were talking to.
Yeah.
So you will like these cards for two very good reasons. But yeah, so this expansion is called
The Triumphant Return of the Brave Heroes. It's actually their 10th anniversary release. It's interesting because they themed it around the original Booster Set 5. The cover cards on this box are the same cover cards that came out way back then in the first original Booster Set 5.
And how many packs in a Booster Set box?
There are 16 packs in a Booster Set, and they come 7 cards per pack.
Okay, 7 cards per pack. Wow,
Yep.
that's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And how many packs you say were inside?
There's 16.
Damn!
Yeah, I figured that's why you like it. So, okay, so these are relatively smaller booster sets.
Yes.
Because like Magic, when you buy like a booster set, you're getting anywhere from 150 to 540
Right.
cards. I know Legion's Realms at War, we're getting about 250 cards,
Yeah.
depending on the expansion. Flesh and Blood, I think they're like 15 cards per pack as well. So these are kind of smaller booster set boxes, which is interesting. How many cards for a deck?
There's 50 cards generally in a deck.
Wow.
And then when you go to think of that, you got to also take 4 of them out specifically for your ride line, which is something fantastic that they brought around to this new
Thank God.
reboot.
Uh-huh.
Because without that ride line, there was multiple ways to just have a bricked hand to where you couldn't just continue with your turn. When the Overdress set came out back in last May, they brought out that ride line, and it's just been done wonders for the game to make it continuously playable.
So this is really about, you're getting about 100 cards out of this booster set box.
Basically.
Now, what's the price on a booster set box?
Depending on the price, Booster Set 2 was one of the lower set for it, so it generally...
So this is
priced around
Booster Pack
36.
5.
Booster Pack 5, you're looking at probably around $50 to $60 per booster box.
I mean, that seems, for me, personally, as a card collector and TCG player, that seems relatively kind of expensive for me. For the amount of cards you're getting.
Makes
Especially
sense.
when your deck is 50 cards and you're only getting... You're probably not even be able to make 2 decks out of this particular booster.
Technically.
Right?
That
Because it's
particular
probably
one,
going to have
yes.
multiple... How many duplicates can you have in a deck?
You can have up to 4 copies of
right,
card in
okay.
a deck, yes.
So just about like almost any other game.
Right.
So you can have 4 duplicates. So that's what I'm saying. And then how many duplicates would you think per booster box?
I think when we did the case opening, booster box rares and commons, you normally get about one or 2 duplicates per box, maybe. But the triple rares, you normally only get 1 copy per booster box.
So I think a fair price for a product like this, where you're getting maybe 100 cards and you're getting duplicates, it reminds me of Legion's Realms at War with their Bountiful Harvest release,
Yes.
where I'm paying $30. I would say that would be a fair price for this. I think this is a little overpriced, in my opinion.
Well, that one you also have to remember, that one has been more so centered around it being the anniversary set, so it is priced just a little bit higher. than
Okay,
what's
all right.
in
So
the
there's
set.
probably going to be like only specific cards you can only get in this
Exactly.
actual booster
Correct.
set box with rarities. So how many different types of... I know we've had this discussion before, and I was like, way too many, but how many types of rarities for Vanguard Card Fight are there card-wise?
In this general format that we're working at right now, there's 4 basic rarities.
Let's
that we
talk
have.
all together.
All together.
Like...
For it. In the entire history of Vanguard.
Yes. How many? So if I was to mix cards right now
Yeah,
from
mix
all of them, how
cards.
many different rarities of cards are there? Are we talking 7 rarities, 10 rarities?
You're looking anywhere between probably about 7 to 10.
Yeah. See,
That's
to
the
me,
different
that's a little much as well.
Pretty close.
What do you
'cause
think,
got
Caleb? Do you think that's a little high
got-
in rarities?
SPs, GRs, VRs,
Yeah.
VSRs,
And what do you think of
stuff
the?
like that.
What do you guys think of the price?
I think the price is high for 100 cards.
What do you think, Opal?
I'm used to the price, so it's just normal for me. But
Do
if
you-
I
do you-
looked at it if
Now-
I looked at it as a game that I haven't played before, yeah, it's probably a little.
So, as a
Right.
Vanguard player and avid collector, like
Yeah.
I said, you've been playing it for 12 years. Do you wish the price was a little bit lower on these? Not for like maybe your financial means, but let's just say, do you think that this is a little too overpriced? Do you think that it should sell for maybe $40 max? 35 seems like a good in the middle.
40 seems to be the general price range that we see them normally come out over here for.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper than they have been, and that's one of the reasons why we had the reboot in the actual series itself, because before this series came out, cards were just super expensive to get because of all of those rarities and stuff.
I could see this selling for $50 in Japan,
Mhm.
where it's massively like well received.
And I think one of the reasons why it's only so high it is because we are still getting imports very delayed, so we're having to make.
Well,
up
my
for it.
problem with this.
Just a
So
little bit.
where did you purchase the product from? Online?
Yes, this one.
Okay, so my thing is, all right, we take this to an LGS, right?
Mhm.
Which we know there's not a lot in the United States that are gonna sell Vanguard. So we put this product on the shelf for $50, whatever. It's gonna collect dust. It's not gonna sell. in my opinion, with the amount of cards you get in it and the unpopularness here in the United States. Now, you put this in a product in Japan for $50, it's probably gonna fly off the shelves, obviously, because that's where everybody's playing it at. But me, like, I would have to say they would have to have higher price in Japan, of course, because of the popularity of it. But here in the United States, sell it at a little lower price because it's not. No LGS is going to pick this game up, knowing it's not going to move off the shelf.
Well, that's the hard thing about trying to get them back into the LGSs is because their marketing strategy so far over in the West has been so faulty that it's hard for an LGS to go and pick it up and expect to try and move it off the shelves because they don't have the right marketing campaign for it.
Right, okay. So I guess we could just dip into some cards here. We'll check them out, and then it's just going to be really great because, like I said, we got Ren, who's a massive nerd. Opal's right behind him. Me, I'm kind of with the game. And then, of course, Kaleb, who knows nothing about it. But it'll be really nice to look at the cards, get Kaleb's first impression of it. And then, we'll talk a little bit about mechanics and stuff and like, what we think of the game. I will tell you right now, personally, you guys start cracking them open and hand them to Kaleb, and I'll talk as you guys do that. For me, what I think Vanguard is great at, I think it's a great game for people to start playing TCGs because it's very easy to pick up. It's not complicating. I built some decks online knowing nothing about it, and even you were like, wow, that's actually a pretty impressive deck that you built knowing nothing about the game. So I feel like, oh yeah, let me go over to the other screen real quick, guys, sorry.
That's cool. I like how they did the 3.
Yeah, I really hope they continue to do the different pack arts.
So yeah, let me scooch in here a little
go
bit.
away.
Don't push me. I'm close to the edge.
Come here. We all don't bite
Maybe
each
I gotta
other.
go this way with the camera. Sorry. So
It's not moving
at the beginning,
anywhere. You're just like.
so at the beginning of the stream, we had audio issues on Tuesday. This time our camera burnt out, and we had to readjust everything on it. So we're kind of trying to
Watch your
figure it out as we go. But so as I was saying, I think that Vanguard's a great game for a new TCG player to pick up. I feel like somebody who's been playing TCGs that hadn't started with Vanguard plays like Magic and Legions and Flesh and Blood and all these other big games. I don't particularly think they'd pick up Vanguard.
With my experience playing with newcomers and playing with people that are coming from different TCGs, yes, you're right on that one because your mindset when it comes to playing a card game, especially if you're more experienced with Magic and Legions and Flesh and Blood, you've got more of a complex gameplay style.
Yeah, because Flesh and Blood where you're pitching for costs, and Magic where you have mana for costs, which Vanguard doesn't have resources like that.
No, the biggest resource that that Vanguard has is its damage and its counterblast.
Correct. Yeah.
So
What is a double rare?
a double rare is the almost you can equivalent it to a super rare or like your not so common cards.
It'd be our
I don't know
third
what you-
star.
I was about to say I don't know what you have.
okay.
Yeah,
It'd be our
for that
third
one.
star.
I
So
really
just
wish
a rare.
I will tell you right now as
Sorry.
well, because this is one thing that me and Kaleb like talking about is card stock. And I will tell you right now that this is not standard card stock size. This is very, very, very light. I'm trying to remember what standard card stock is right now.
Well, this is also made in the Japanese style. This is not.
Yeah.
So these aren't- so
these are
you'd have to-
smaller than
Yeah,
our
you'd have to
cards.
use the
You could-
smaller.
Yeah.
Like
You can-
Yu-Gi-Oh sleeves and stuff. So I have a
yes.
standard sleeve here. I just want to.
Oh yeah, it's
you
gonna
would-
slide around.
It's gonna slide around in it. You
Okay,
have
so
to
that-
get the Japanese.
So for you
standard.
guys that don't know anything about Vanguard, like mostly me and Kaleb do, this is what it's going to look like in a standard like Magic sleeve. Obviously, it's quite smaller, so it's going to be more Yu-Gi-Oh card size. So I get that. It is super thin. I'm a fan of heavier cardstock myself personally. I will say the art's pretty all right on it. And then one of my other problems is colors.
Right.
There's a lot going on.
There's
with
a
these
lot
cards.
going on, but I don't understand why they thought it necessary to use color in the verbiage, especially for like people that are
Go ahead, show
colorblind.
that
It
one.
makes our eyes super wonky.
Right.
And so, as you guys can see on some of the cards, I'm not gonna say all of them, but some of the cards,
There's a
you're gonna
full
have
photo of that dude.
color
Literally.
schemes to the text, which I'm not a super
Around
big
this
fan
dude?
of. And I'm not. Don't get me
No,
wrong. I'm not
the girl.
shit talking
Oh.
Vanguard,
There's
but
a whole- they're
like
called
what we do on the
brothers.
channel, I don't know if you've watched any of our past stuff. We like to get our first initial views, talk about it, like what we see on our first look at something.
Right.
I will
figured
say,
you'd like her.
if you feel too, you all can feel the cut's not that great. Rub your hand down, and I'll tell you why it's like that.
Oh yeah.
Feel that. Run
Yeah.
your hand down. Do you know why it's like that?
So it's grip.
Here, grab. No.
It's for grip.
Is that what that's for?
That's for grip when you're holding them.
No, that's not what that is.
I'll
I'll tell you what that is. That's not what that is. I'll tell you
Okay.
what that is. So when cards are cut, if they're cut against the fiber, they're going to have that rougher edge to them like that. And you also will be able to see sometimes a white border, and that's when the machine's cut against the fiber instead of with the fiber. So,
Lord Taylor.
Lord Taylor is here.
so
What is going on? Yeah, dude.
yeah, I told you
That's
there'd be
the
two
entire
reasons.
ride
So,
line, man.
I mean,
That's the entire ride line.
Jesus. Like.
so
Okay, this is
man,
what
we
he's
might have
talking
to
about. Here you
X-rate
go.
this. We might have to X-rate this video, man. I told Caleb there'd be
Lord.
2 big reasons why he liked the art on this game, and I think we just found what those 2 big reasons are.
Jeez, man.
That card in this set sparked a whole bunch of controversy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure in these.
100%.
I'm sure in these times, yeah, they
I
definitely
mean,
did.
come on. Like,
How does she walk, man? How is she fighting, dude?
Well, because she's counterbalancing it because she's got a sword almost the same size as Cloud's
Oh
Buster
yeah,
sword.
that thing is awesome. This ride line's cool.
Let me check out some of these cards to talk about. So okay, so
I'm just opening them.
have we come across perchance a foil that I can gander at?
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of
There's
them.
a couple of them right here. Here, let me get the big booby
Is-
lady out of the way.
Is this
here.
by chance a foil?
This
have you
is-
guys done-
Yeah,
Those
that's,
are.
those
Yeah,
are
that one
foils.
is too.
The one you looked at was a foil, yes.
Ooh, look at this dude.
See,
Here's a triple.
I'm gonna be honest, man.
Ooh,
Like,
she's pretty. Ooh, yes.
I don't know what they do for foil either. And don't get me wrong, Rin. I know you're a massive fan, and understand I'm
No.
not shit talking it.
You're good.
It's just my first impressions.
Yeah.
The foil, I don't like. Like, I'm colorblind for one,
Mhm.
and it's hard for me to see foil anyways. I can always kind of see it a little bit.
Got a holographic.
But this, I honestly can't see at all. It just looks like a normal card to me.
Right.
I don't see like a lot of
It's just-
shine to it.
Yes, it does.
Is there a reason for that?
Yes, it does.
Do you know?
When
or?
they came to the foiling themselves, the only ones that they actually gave a certain design would be the SPs and the triple rares.
Yeah, so here's
The
a triple
other
rare.
foiling, they didn't really worry too much because they were just trying to get something in the pack that would make the weight more distributed throughout the
Mhm.
cards.
So
that way it stopped.
That's your texture. That's a
people that
triple
were
rare right there.
weighing
Well,
cards
it's
just
texture
to find
in
the good cards.
Yeah.
and then
Okay, so I could see it on this.
holographic.
I could see it on this one a little bit better.
Uh-huh.
That's holographic.
Yeah, I can't see that at all,
Yeah,
dude.
I figured
Not
not.
even a tiny little bit. Yeah, I'm just not a fan that they had to use color text.
You have lights.
Because
Some
boy,
lights.
I'm telling you, it would jack my eyes up playing this game. Like I've played it a few
Right.
times, and that was one of my complaints when I played with
Yeah.
Opal. Was I can't the color schemes in the text just mess with my
They got
eyes so bad.
Bermuda Triangle back.
That's not Bermuda.
Oh my God,
Okay,
it's not.
I lied.
Face.
I can kind of see. Yeah, I can see the foil in that one. You said this one's holographic.
Yes,
Yeah, that one's just
because,
a hollow.
So there's an H down here that
Mhm.
says holographic. That
Yeah,
means
yeah.
holographic.
Yeah,
So that's the only thing special about it is that
Yeah.
it's a holographic. That's
Yeah, I
it.
don't-
The only good thing that I can really say that they did with the rarities with this game, and it's one of the things Trent and I kind of talked about before, was
That's my brother.
they have the higher rarities for certain cards, but you never have to go higher than that triple rare.
Okay, so rarity wise, you're allowed 4 duplicates in a deck.
There's another
Now,
triple
does that does it matter with rarities?
No, does
so
not matter.
no matter what the
It's a
rarity of the
triple
card
rare.
is, you
Yeah.
can have
So this would
4
be a
duplicates.
4-star for
So if you
us.
have the highest rarity, you can have 4 in it.
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
You see a whole lot of people.
Do you
when
think
they're-
that makes the game
What is an
index a little
Holographic.
busted?
Okay.
Let's say I play against you who's been collecting this game for 12 years and I go out and I pick up a deck or 2 or 3 and I don't have as many rarities as that you have in your deck. Do you think you're just going to come in and just stomp me into oblivion because
What's the
you
highest
have
rarity?
more rarities?
Not necessarily, because
SSR.
just because it's
SSR.
a higher.
What is
No,
that?
that's wrong. It's in this box. It's an SP, special parallel.
When
Which
did we
you-
get SPs?
We'll get to that, but let me answer this question first.
You talk to me.
Oh, he said shut your mouth,
To
Opal.
me.
Just because something's a higher rarity does not necessarily mean it's a good card.
Yeah.
You have a lot of
Okay.
You have a
All
lot
right.
of cards in the game that
Okay.
are rares or.
So we're used to, like, in Legions, when we have an Exalted Rare, we know that card's the bee's knees. We know it's going to, if we draw it and we're in the right part of our phase in our game where we have stuff on the board, we know the Exalted Rare is going to hit heavy or do something special for the game. So you're saying that the rarities in this game, sometimes they don't really matter at all.
Right.
So my
take
question
this
is, if
separate
that's
from
the
me real
case,
quick.
if
Keep
that's
them
the case,
separate
if the
from
rarities
Just real
may
quick.
not do something
Stop talking.
to drastically change the tides of the game, then why have them? Like, why have so many of them?
So
Is it collectors?
yes and no, because
Reasonings?
there's a whole bunch of people that like max rarity everything. They just want to have that bling. But when it comes to your higher rarities, most of those are only going to be like your boss cards for the deck.
Okay.
And those are the ones that you're going to have. Say, for example, I run a Brantgate deck. And my boss monster right here is Orphist.
Okay.
He is my go-to card. I get him any time in the game, and he only comes in triple rare.
Here you go.
Okay.
This is one you would like.
We can take it out of the sleeve if you want. That
Oh, no. You're good. So, where do you see the rarity at? Where
Rarity
do you
is
see
down
where it
in-
says triple rare?
Right down in the bottom
Man.
left-hand corner.
Okay, so that's another one of my issues, man. Like, man, I don't have my glasses either. The text for, like, that is super small. Like,
What is this?
Those
like
are the
it's
new dual nation
like
cards.
the rarity is going to be down here, and to me
Yes.
that is super
That's
small. Like it's
cool.
kind of hard to see, even like up close. I'm like trying to focus in, and there's a lot. Like I said, like Caleb said, there's a lot going on in these cards. Like it's a busy card. Like that is one thing I think is cool. I hate white space on cards.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it. I love full art cards, and that's one thing I'll give the game. I love every card
And
I've
that-
seen is full art.
And that's what drew me to the game to begin with, because I came, before I came to this game, I was Yu-Gi-Oh, so all they had was that little square box of a picture, and then you had just the frame.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that don't know, Vanguard is separated into
Here.
5 nations.
This is one of your.
Yes,
right?
five
Tell
nations.
us what you think about that.
So-
It feels odd to me.
5 nations. We have Keter Sanctuary,
These are
Sorry.
basically like your angels and knights and your witches.
which you can find out their nation down here at the bottom. Is different colors. Dragon Empire.
These are going to be a whole bunch of your different dragons, fire dragons, thunder dragons.
My deck.
You'll see dinosaurs in this set as well, or in this nation, as well as different kind of ninjas.
Yes. All right, help me with that one because I
So
was
okay.
Stoicheia. I always say it wrong, so I have to have him ask me.
Can I see one of those other packs? Just I want to look at something.
So Stoicheia is going to be all of your basically animal as well as nature-based decks. They also incorporated a whole bunch
Sorry.
of sea monsters in this deck as well.
Okay, and then we have.
Okay, so
Oh, that's another cut.
Packaging
no, I already did
wise?
that one.
I like the packaging.
do
I'm
you?
not
So
gonna-
I
Okay.
noticed some stuff on it,
Brian
just
Gate.
off the top of my head.
Right.
Like I noticed that the wording goes down into the
The blue crimp.
into the crimp, which I wish almost every one of them I've seen so far is like that. Like just adjust that up a little bit. You know what I mean?
What
You
am I
have all
missing?
this space. I think.
Dark
it's-
State.
But I do like how the packaging.
Do you guys mind if I rip one of these open? I just want to see
Go
how
for it.
it feels opening.
But like, you know what I really like about the packaging?
Oh, that is pretty.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
But you know what I like the most?
Hmm.
It explains the different rarities on the back of the
Oh well, look at there. I
Yeah.
had you do all that, and I could have just read the back of the card. So that's actually pretty cool. Does it show that on the booster set box too? Like the
It
different
does, but
rarities?
it's not as big. It's on the side over here.
Okay,
That's
I
why they
gotcha.
include it on the pack.
I will say one thing. I know it feels like I'm probably being super negative on
Where's
game,
the
but the
darkest
packaging
shades?
is actually really nice. Like
Yeah.
it's not hard to open. I like that they have like
Dark
a little.
Shades. Here we go.
It's kind of like a, for children, easy open.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
already kind of got like a little groove. You know where to pull.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty nice. I like that in packaging. That's actually really cool.
So this is a Darkest State nation.
So dark states are going to be a whole bunch of
Dark
your demons and your.
There you go, Caleb.
They've got a whole bunch of mechanics, kind of that
Ooh.
are like time travel and stuff.
What's
like
going
that.
on here, guys?
So
It's the static electricity.
Oh yeah, they were
through it.
sticking. I was like, oh, is there something?
in that
That's
pack
one
you
you
just
would
pulled,
like.
that was a 10th rare.
Is that
10th
Bazooka
anniversary
Girl?
Rare.
Yeah, she's pretty dope.
That's one you would like.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
How do you say it again?
That is Brantgate.
Brantgate.
This one's kind of cool,
I always
Caleb.
say it wrong. So
I
this
think we've
is
already looked at it.
Brantgate,
Did we already look at that
and
one
they're
like that?
police, right?
No, we haven't looked
That
at
was
it.
Brantgate
actually
are
pretty cool.
police, aliens, and
So-
Oh, that's a 10th triple rare.
Yep, those are the special
Those are
cards
the
that
special
came
cards.
for the 10th anniversary.
So, how many clans? Is it clans?
it's nations. in
and
Nations.
we're going over them already.
Oh, okay. All right. That's. Sorry, I was so intrigued by the packaging and stuff. I was.
Yeah.
So, how many nations
There's
are there?
5 nations.
Okay, so just because we were all talking, so you've got Dragon Empire. Those are going to be all your dragons, your
Yeah.
dinosaurs, and your.
Oh, there's dinosaurs.
There's
Yes.
dinosaurs in them.
And
Okay.
dragons.
Let's ask the important question right
In
now.
mine.
Are there werewolves?
Right now, there's not.
This game's lame. This game's lame. I hate it. There's no werewolves.
Now this this is new to me though.
We'll get to that one. Give
I
me
know,
just a
here.
second.
Dude, I'm intrigued.
I
It's
bet you
actually
are.
super easy game to pick
It
up.
is
Yeah.
really
It's,
easy.
it is
Super
not hard.
easy.
Opal showed me for like 15 minutes how to
And
play
you
it,
already had the hang
and
of
I
it.
already knew.
Is there a way to
Now-
is there a way to just build a deck that's like just
Sure, you can do whatever you want.
That's a ride line.
That's a yeah.
That's a ride
Of
line.
course there is.
Yeah.
That's the main ride line, yes.
play
you
mats.
can.
Oh.
Do they actually have like actual play mats, or are they all the paper
know.
play mats? Because I know when Opal showed me the game, yeah, I definitely want to check out one of these play mats.
I didn't have one.
Hold the
sorry.
side of one of these so we can show it off here, Caleb. Okay.
Ooh, you know what?
I kind of dig that.
I like the playmat. It's nice and heavy.
Oh, that is got some
Yeah,
thickness
it's got
to
some-
it. Yeah.
It's got some.
I
Okay.
hate this.
We're sorry,
You
Opal.
know what? Oh man.
Just for being late.
Yeah, dude. 10 minutes
You
late.
you
today.
cursed the
We were
stream,
all late.
but you cursed the stream
not
to where it
curse
was
the
bad.
stream.
All right,
We
let's
were
check
supposed
supposed
this
to
not
out.
a
start.
witch.
We were supposed to start at 6, and you showed up.
Oh, this
at
one's
6.
actually cool too. Check this one out, dude.
Okay.
This one's actually pretty cool too. I actually like the playmats. Now, the only thing I noticed that I wish they had.
Mhm.
So on the paper playmats,
Yeah, the field.
you have the field,
They do-
which is one thing that we really like about Legion's Realms of War.
Yeah.
When you play the playmats, which I have is sitting here, you can look
Impression
here on the thing. They have the different spots and places
Right.
for where your cards go. I like that in a playmat. Obviously with Magic, you don't need it because you're just throwing cards on a field all over the place,
Right.
and you have so much mana. It doesn't matter how much space you have. But on a game like this, where the cards do specifically go in a spot.
Right.
Now, do they have playmats
They do
like
have
that?
playset,
Okay.
playmats at. I actually have
Obviously,
one of those
you're
I
not
didn't
going to
bring.
have one because you
I've got
have been
one.
playing
I've
for
just
12
not
years.
brought it
But
with me this time.
oh,
but-
that's pretty sick. Have you showed this one yet?
Which one's
No.
that?
This one's pretty
The
sick. I
demonic?
really dig
Oh,
that
yeah.
card, man. That's
Like, see that one right there.
it's pretty radical.
It's not a super rare card, but it
It's a
actually
lot.
takes the place of a grade 3 that came out earlier in the set.
Yeah.
And its ability works better for the actual deck.
Now,
that's in.
You
cray.
want a pony.
The word
You
cray.
want
I
a
see it a lot when
pony.
it comes to Vanguard. Is
Yeah.
that what? I was
It's
reading about it, but
disturbing.
I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest.
they
I already
all- some
forgot
of them
what cray
do.
was. Now
Some
that
of them
there,
are-
Seriously disturbing.
that what is the actual cray?
Cray is the planet in which
We
Vanguard
should've-
is supposed
we
to take
should've-
place.
Okay.
Swap
Okay, so it's on a
sides.
planet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So-
makes sense.
There are some disturbing cards. In
In
here.
Legions, we use 320. Okay, thank you, Taylor. That's why I was asking. I know that cards used to be 310, and I think the new standard size for cards are 320. And I can guarantee you right now, these aren't 320 stock. I can guarantee it. I can tell by the weight of them. But what's odd is,
My little pony.
Feel.
Yeah.
all right, no, feel this one, right? Okay. Now
Okay.
feel this one. That one feels heavier, does it not?
A little bit.
Feel those. This one feels heavier to me. They don't feel the same weight.
One of these.
So I'm wondering, are possibly rarities cut into a different stock with a different?
They
Never
might
actually
be. They might
looked
be a
into
little
that
bit
one.
thicker. But like, look,
It's possible, but I've never looked into it.
Okay, we might have to definitely put on parental warnings on this video
Yeah.
with some of the art on these cards.
Dude,
It's good
no,
golly.
But no,
Read
but
it.
read it.
Oh, I gotta read it.
Like, just read the
There's
flavor.
flavor text.
That's what I'm saying.
Have you guys showed this yet?
No.
We're gonna call this card the Yummy Yummy card. Because its flavor text says, That's really disturbing because she's sleeping.
I'm saying.
And it makes me feel awkward that she's sleeping and I'm staring at her and the flavor text is,
Like, I feel like I'm Billy
Like-
Bob Thornton from Sling Blade.
But they do all of them have flavor text.
Just about every one of them has it.
See, I
Yeah,
love
so
flavor
you like
text.
flavor
Now,
text.
does flavor text tell any kind
And
of story?
The
or...
cool thing is that's the different thing also with the rarities. Different rarities also have different flavor text.
So the name of the card, is that this right here?
Yes,
Yep.
that's in that.
So the
little
name of
bracket.
this card is An Afternoon Nap Regardless of Place, Eva.
So
Yes.
she is a scientist that wants to do nothing but sleep. She is one of the.
Well, she seems worthless.
Well, she's worthless, but her skill when you get her up into her grade 3 calls out a monster.
I don't see
Yeah.
flavor text on this card.
That is the flavor text.
That's the flavor.
That's-
Oh, that
yes,
is the
that's
flavor
the flavor
text.
text.
Okay, so everyone does.
Found her.
But the flavor text doesn't really tell any kind of story or any kind of lore.
Nah.
It's just kind of gimmicky flavor text.
It's gimmicky flavor text to
Keep
what's
your eyes on the
related to
box,
that one.
okay? 3, 2, 1. Okay, so she's
Yeah.
obviously some kind of magician lady.
Right.
Buster.
Okay.
Buster Blade.
Blaster Dart.
I kind of actually for
Blaster.
animated art, I actually like it. I mean that card made me feel weird, but I mean I like a lot of the art on the cards. It's really well done
Do you want to open a pack?
for this
I
kind of
open
art
Yeah,
style.
yeah.
Because every game you play is a different art style.
Ooh, he
So-
looks cool.
Now, is there any throwback art cards, like throwback to the '90s kind of style? Because I know
That
some cards like to
one.
do throwback art.
They weren't in this set.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. There's a pack in here that has nothing but, I don't know if it'll come in this box, but in the set, there's a pack that has nothing but hollows in it, and it comes with their original card art from the original set 5.
Okay.
But this right here, this is the 10th anniversary version
there's
of
another
the
one.
original boss version. The original boss card of him.
I do like the. I really do like the package.
I actually do too. I love the easy tear in it. It's just it feels really good. It really
Yeah.
does. I do like the packaging a lot too. Have you guys already looked at these? Am I looking at them?
I
No.
looked at that. I looked at them. We're just kind of.
They've
are
already looked at the
duplicates.
Agriot.
Yeah. So how many duplicates do you think were probably in this box?
There's
If you had, I see 2 right here in my hand just
Yeah.
alone. So.
Yeah.
between these two,
Dragon.
You're probably gonna see at least 2 to 3.
So-
duplicates or so.
Just a question for you, Ren.
Yes.
Vanguard Card Fight. Is this the game that got you into TCGs, or did
a
you play
mechanical
something
dragon.
before?
No,
Yes.
so
Were you a Pokemon
Dragon.
guy, a Yu-Gi-Oh
He's in Qatar.
I
guy?
was a Yu-Gi-Oh guy before.
Okay.
I played Yu-Gi-Oh
There we
from
go. There's a
like
triple
the
rare.
time that it started all the way until
Competitively
Ducking.
at any time?
we started to do some competitive to
Don't
it.
duck too low.
We sucked at competitive play.
Sure.
But
Well, there's a lot
started
of
to get that
there's a
far.
lot of tryhards.
That's
Yeah.
one of the newer ones.
Yeah, I prefer casual play.
I
I've
do
never
too.
never done
I've just
competitive
been
play.
one.
I know Marcelo and my son did
Gotcha.
some competitive play at the TCG con we just went to. But they went to and got stomped real fast.
Yeah.
Because they just weren't. I mean, those decks
Yeah,
are
they
insane.
did.
But the thing is with competitive play too is I feel like the
Like Dragon
rules
Lord.
for some competitive play aren't really
Dragon.
put into place.
Right.
Where I honestly don't think people are looking through the decks to make sure the legal cards are in there and stuff. Now, are there illegal cards for Vanguard like there are for like
There
Magic or
are
other games?
there's a ban list for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Standard over in Japan got their recent ban list. We're getting our restriction list on the 8th of July.
What's the size of the restriction list if you had to guess how many cards are banned?
Over in Japan right now, there's like I think there's only
A baby dragon.
3 cards that are actually
Thank you.
restricted.
Okay.
They go mainly for what's called a choice restriction, meaning
I have a
you can
half-life.
only use that card with within a certain deck. You can't use that card with certain cards. That way the
There's
deck
card
doesn't
in a
become too
holographic.
broken.
There's been
Okay, and
is so
format
cool.
wise, how many different
I'm gonna put that one
formats
up.
are there for the
That one's,
game?
like,
Like,
really cool.
you know, there's so many for Magic, standard
I'm not
commander,
trying to
stuff
look
like
down
that.
too
There
much, but
are
I'm trying not
3
to, like,
formats
block
right
them.
now. You have your premium format. That's for all the cards that have been released back
Okay.
in 2010
That's
all the
a
way up to now.
dinosaur.
It is,
You've
and it's
got
part
V
of the Dragon
Premium,
Empire.
which
The Dragon
is
Empire has
the first reboot
dragons
set.
and dinosaurs and
It's
stuff.
they tried to take more of a route following the manga more than the
It's a
anime.
ninja.
So they did a whole bunch of
Ninja
retrains. So they kind of keep that to
So-
itself.
I think they should.
I
have
guess-
trade spots.
There's really
Or-
not
Oh.
different formats. It's just when it comes to the formats, it's different cards you're allowed to use.
Yes.
So it's not like Commander in Magic where my
Boobs.
health counts 40 and I'm allowed 100 cards and only one card, no duplicates, right?
Right.
Within
Oh, I
minus
forgot about
lands, of
triggers.
course.
Mhm.
Well, basic lands. And then you have Standard, which is health of 20, 4
We're getting
duplicates,
a lot of
and things
repeats
like
now.
that. So there's not
Getting a lot of what?
different
Repeats.
gameplay like formats for that. It's
Where
just
are
The,
the
the
different
biggest
cards you can
gameplay
use.
changes that you'll see is between V Premium and Standard. In
Okay.
V Premium, they come with
That's
these
her
things called
Upper
imaginary
one, by
gifts.
the way.
Uh-huh.
And they're
The-
different gifts that would be
Girl.
bestowed upon the player as soon as you write a grade 3.
Okay.
There's
That
some
is the
angels.
only set, really, V Premium and Premium, where you'll get those imaginary gifts. You can't play those imaginary gifts in standard
Another
format,
angel.
which is what we're
That's
kind
another
of going over right now.
Sure.
In standard format, you have the ride deck. This is the only format that a ride deck is available for, because if you put it in any of the other formats, you make those formats just broken.
Okay.
Because they relied on the starting Vanguard to do so
Triggers?
much with the deck.
Triggers.
Okay.
Triggers. It's
All right, and
triggers.
then what's the max amount of players that can play a game? Is it a 1 versus 1? Can you do 2 versus 2?
In a
Oh, there's
actual
3v3.
formal competitive standard, they normally do 1v1, or they do team formats. You go
So there's a
3v3.
team format. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So okay.
The
So
only
you got single format and then 2 versus 2.
Yes.
But there's no 1v1,
Gotta
1v1,
plan.
1v1 where 3 people can play together.
no, not in the same
Okay,
general
all right.
settings.
Okay, because like I said in Magic, you can
Yeah.
obviously do that in some of the other games.
Now, the community has gone
It's
up
a
and
token
found
unit.
rules
That's
to
why.
make those play within like
Token
casual
unit.
play, and are trying to push for those. But
Uh-huh.
in an actual legal standings, no, it's basically either just 1v1 or your team format going up best 2 out of 3 type
Okay.
thing.
There's a
And then,
race.
so I have also, just so you guys know, in our Discord, I have, in one of the recommended Discords list, I do have Ren's Discord, World of Cray, right?
Yes.
So if you have any questions in regards to Vanguard, you want to know more about the game, you can always go to our Discord and find his as well. And he's also a member of our Discord. What's your name on the Discord? It's Mike Wren,
Mike
right?
Wren.
So anytime you want to ask questions about Vanguard, we have a section in it to talk about the game, maybe some deck advice
Oh,
or whatever.
God.
You can always hit him up on there as well. And
I post just about every kind of
Her?
news we get. From
yeah, your
Yeah, that's
Discord's you got a lot of information in it. It's kind of an information overload when you first look at it. You're like, wow, this is a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's informative stuff. So
The biggest thing that I wanted that one to be was a place for people to go and get the information, because right now the only place that you can get a whole bunch of that information is either from their YouTube page that's in a whole bunch of Japanese language,
Right.
or the Card Fight Vanguard Wiki, which is it updates very
Huh?
semi-regularly, but
Mhm. That's pretty
that way
cool.
it's all in one place for everybody.
I will say too, this is the first time. This is the first time I've ever opened a pack of cards and had static electricity issues. They were
Oh
sticking
yeah,
together.
they do.
I just noticed that too. Like I've never had that happen with opening decks before or packs before. That's crazy.
So this set also has something
Like, they do
very
stick, don't they?
amazing.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
they do. That's
So-
why we put them in sleeves.
Starting in set 5, we originally only had 5 nations per deck, and you can only build a deck around that one nation.
Mm-hmm.
In this set, they released cards that are dual nation, making it easier to put multiple different nations within a deck. So these, you'll see that they have a top effect, which is basically an effect that you can use regardless. It's just its own effect. And then the bottom effect, you'll see that it has the word glitter on it. And how they describe glitter is, in their lore that they have for it, is somebody who's seeking the Fire Regalia, which, if you watch any sort of anime or anything, it's basically a legendary item that will grant them any wish.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they're on the field with that certain card that's in that second ability, they also get a stronger ability. So, that Maple card that's on screen right now,
It's a moth.
we will see that in almost a lot of Stoicheia decks, because just you can ride a grade 3 and you get a free card from it.
Yep.
She calls herself straight from the graveyard.
So,
This way.
obviously, you're going to have decks that play from your graveyard, like any other game and
Yes.
stuff like that. And is there like there's no like eradication zone in Vanguard? It's mostly just discard, right?
It's called a bind zone, and that right now it's not necessarily used in Overdress.
I was gonna say when we played, we
You'll see
I
that
never
more
used
so
it,
in the other formats until we get a couple more ride lines.
So I will say one thing. I mean, the cards look great, man. Like I don't see many issues with them. Have you ever seen text errors or anything like that on any of the cards, like misspell?
Yes,
like misspelled
we actually do
words
have
or
a whole
anything like
bunch of translation errors where they'll misspell a couple words.
Really?
Or we've had a couple that have printed off with the wrong shield value.
that? Mhm.
And we actually had a grade 1 in the booster set 1 of the Overdress
dragon,
series
dragon.
that came out with the
Dragon.
Persona emblem, even though it wasn't a card that could give you Persona Ride.
So what's the chase card?
So
What's the card that everybody, when they play Vanguard's like, I want that card. That's the chase
right
card.
now, your
That's what-
biggest chase cards that you'll see is anything to do with Dragonic Overlord.
Okay.
He is one of the.
Where would
most-
you see that on the card?
Dragonic-
How would you know what it
You would
is?
know his name.
It's his name.
Oh, that's his name.
That's
okay.
his name.
Have you
Dragonic
guys
Overlord.
pulled any out of your case yet?
In the case, we did pull some. Now,
How many is some?
I want to say we were able to get probably about 5 out of the group.
So how many booster boxes in a case?
There are 20 booster boxes in a case.
And so how much was a case?
I don't know how much you spent. Depending on what site you
We
get it on.
talking,
I
Close-
think Trent got
close-
a couple thousand.
I was
I
gonna
think
say,
it was only one. I think
Was
it was
it
only one.
this time? Because
Yeah.
the last one he bought was like.
I was gonna say, are we talking
almost
3 figures, 4 figures? So
Four
we're talking 4
figures.
figures
Four.
for a case. Wow, that's
But in that case, he
Ninja
also got
Demon.
a complete playset of everything in the actual set itself.
Oh.
you're good,
Hi,
Samuel Graham.
Samuel.
We know
Hello,
you will.
everybody. By the way, we're sorry. We got so enthralled into this that it just was
Caleb's not. He's just really enthralled by the artwork of
big booty
things
lady.
Things like this.
No,
I'm not.
He's
So,
really digging that.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I'm not a huge fan of the cartoony
Yeah.
artwork, like by any means. Like, it just does nothing for me.
Yeah. So even with this,
Even with this.
okay.
Like, it's just, I would have to play the game and see how the mechanics of the game go.
See if
think
it's
you
fun
would
for
like
you
it.
To
because
see
you
if
don't.
it's-
You wouldn't really care too much about that.
But based off of what I'm seeing,
I honestly think too with TCGs. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I think this goes for literally almost anybody who plays TCGs. The first thing that draws you into them is obviously the artwork.
Yeah.
And if you're not a fan of anime art, what are they called? Waifus and
Waifus.
Waifus and hambandos. Yeah.
that shit.
yeah,
If you're not into that, then these types of games
Yeah,
with this kind
it's
of
not
art
gonna
style
appeal
is
to
you. Yeah,
probably
it's
not
not.
going to appeal to you. I'm a little bit more open to the idea than Caleb is. Like, Caleb is not into anime in any type of way.
But I think when you play it, you'll like the mechanics of it.
yeah.
Well, that's because it's super simple to pick up. Like I said,
Yes.
she showed me in like 15
Well, it's
minutes. I was
also
okay.
very similar setup. Again, going back to our favorite game, Legions. It's a similar setup to that. It's a bit easier.
Yeah, because Legions. I mean, it tells you what you need to do. Like. So that's the thing. So these cards, they're going to tell me, like, I was reading over it. They tell me exactly what I need to do. Like, they
Right.
tell me how the card plays. And that's one of our big things we like about Legions. It tells you what you have to do. If it says the word perish on it, it tells you what the perish effect is and what it does.
Yeah.
And then tells you what the rest of the card does.
Yeah.
And Magic, you don't really get that all the time. It's going to be like, it has vigilance. And you're like, cool. What the
fuck
shit is
that?
vigilance,
Yeah.
right? But as a Magic player who's been playing for a long time, we obviously know what it is, but a new player's not going to know.
Yeah, they're gonna be like,
and then you have to explain it to them, or they have to go back to the rule guide and look at the different verbiage for all these effects that cards have. I love games like this where they tell you exactly what the card
There
does.
is a couple things.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
Go.
there is something that they are coming out with, which I'm finding extremely interesting, and I will be posting more information as I get it. With the new trial decks that are coming out this October, they are coming out with cards that are basically beginner friendly. They'll show you basically on the card how to actually play it. Like if you have to ride a certain ride line, it shows you what the ride line you're looking for is.
Oh, okay, see, that's
and
nice.
They'll show you what a counter blast is. They'll show you what a soul blast is. And then after you get used to it, those trial decks are also going to come with extra cards to trade those cards out for the actual cards, as well as a couple other tune-up cards.
So when is that supposed to drop? They're called trial decks?
They're called trial decks. They're supposed to drop in October. We just got information for English. They'll be October 9th.
That's actually pretty cool. That would be nice for, like you said, brand new players. That'd be pretty great.
That's what I was actually going to touch on. That was going to be a little bit difficult because I know when I was trying to teach you, it took a little bit, but only because of the coloring. The counterblast and the soul blast are
those are the main forms of resource management you have in the game.
But they're red and blue.
Yes.
Right? But they do have a C next to it or an S, right?
Yes.
And that's for
Counterblast and Soul Blast. Like this one right here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, that's probably
I'm telling you, we've never had. That's the one things I noticed. Like our cameras not change our view, and mostly any other cards that we have, like.
So that blue. Oh, I'm really close to the mic. I'm sorry.
So the blue right there in the card, go up. It says a C and blast. So right next to it, you'll also see a number within a little circle. That tells you you're going to counter blast 1. That means you'll take a damage that you took during the battle, the previous turn, flip it over, and you'll be able to access that ability.
This is just something I wanted to show real quick.
I was trying to find a Soul Blast.
This is something I just want to show real quick. So we haven't changed our camera view at all, right? For card set. So you guys see how difficult that is to read, right? On the camera. It's actually difficult for me too, because I could slap this down, and you can read it clearly. Like it doesn't seem like it's like. I'm sorry. Like it's like pulled far away. That's like almost every game. Like boom, you can see that just fine. Vanquishers. Like you can make the stuff out very, very well. The verbiage on the cards I feel are very small, and then they are just overloaded. There's a lot of text in some of them as well.
Right. And
there's just a lot going on in these cards. Like I would be very interested to play the game and learn how to play it.
Yeah.
It's fun. Don't get me wrong.
I can't just judge a book by its cover, and right now the cover to me is the artwork.
Right.
But I mean, it's like, look, man, it's taken me 2 years to watch 3 seasons of Attack on Titan.
Oh my God, really?
I haven't even started that.
Is that all the cards we've looked at, right?
Yeah.
We're good at the cards. I'm gonna switch back over to the other screen so we can talk slow.
You got everything except for like the other shit.
Yeah, it's taken me, dude. I'm on season 3, episode 19 right now.
Yeah.
It comes, you know.
Dear God, dude.
So shut up, Opal.
I mean, somebody has at least some sort of life.
So okay.
Yeah.
Well, forget you.
So yeah.
You should have said it.
The gameplay I'll say is fun. When I played it,
What do you want me to say?
I was frustrated probably but that's anybody who plays anybody who plays a brand new TCG game gets super frustrated.
Right.
I will say for me personally, we'll talk about our likes and don't likes right now real quick. The verbiage is a little small.
Yes.
I
will agree with that.
I think they could maybe make it a little bit larger, especially for people with poor eyesight. It's like you and me, we're deaf
Oh, yeah.
in one ear. I know you are. And then when you get that hearing aid in, you're like, whoa, man, it's all new world.
Man.
I think making the text a little bit bigger would help players.
That-
Because I feel like if I'm playing this game, I'm going to put my card down and be like,
The biggest thing with that is they gotta learn how to not use so many words.
Well, not so many words though, but like I said, I love full art, but there's also, let's dial it back a little bit. Let's not try to fill it so full. You know, just
Right.
I get what they're doing.
That-
the art's really cool on it.
That would be where you would hate the SP cards.
Yeah.
There's no white
backdrop.
border
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Do you have an
different
SD card
that
here?
differentiates the text with the actual artwork.
Yeah.
Which I have one.
And like I said, I'm not a big fan of the some of the verbiage in the cards being colored. As a colorblind person, this is one of my big gripes on a lot of the games that we cover. Is it makes it super difficult. Like Back Alley Mages is a game that I'm gonna back on Kickstarter. I love the people behind it. I love the game. It looks fun. It's unplayable for me right now because of the color issues with the dice stuff. But it is something they're acknowledging on their Kickstarter, and they're changing the pips to shapes instead of colors, which is nice. But so sometimes like these games don't put into effect of things like that with people with color blindness or and things like that. But that's my main gripe on it. I played the game personally, and I enjoy it. It's fun. Is it a game that I would play constantly like I do like Legions or Magic or something? Probably not, but I would definitely play it like if everybody want to go to the car shop play, I'd definitely play. But it's not like a game that I'd pull out and be like, let me show you a really awesome game. Yeah, you know, because I haven't been playing it for 12 years.
Right.
Everybody has their different taste stuff. Like, we're massive Legions supporters and fans. Like, that's our game. So that's the game we're going to pull out to want to play. Marcelo's a massive Magic fan. Man, I'm sorry.
You were going to hit me.
Marcelo's a
Just
massive
move
Magic
back
fan, so he's going to play Magic. Ryan, who was here on Tuesday, he's in there right now playing Yu-Gi-Oh with Marcel. But we all have a different.
But that's the fantastic thing about TCGs is everybody has their own niche, and
the great thing too is when you get groups of people together like this who all love different things, you're forced to play these games together.
Exactly.
Because you're like, well, I played Legion, so now you got to play this.
Exactly.
So, but my
that's
big
the
thing
trade-off.
though, one is the color issue, and also is just I don't buy product online, which we have discussed several times here. I refuse to buy product online. I support LGS 100%. So if LGS doesn't carry it, I'm unfortunately going to go without it. It's the penance I pay for being stubborn like that.
Makes sense.
But I just refuse to buy product online. So sometimes if a game looks great, but LGS doesn't carry it, I have to go without. I have to suffer the consequences for my own decisions. So, but Kaleb, usually we talk mechanics for you, but you don't really know much about this game. But let's get your. I know you're also big on packaging as well.
Is this a game that I'm going to run out and buy right now?
Probably
No.
But you could play it and it could change your mind.
It
too.
could. But I also don't like the fact that I'm spending $50 and only getting
Well,
100
so
cards.
this is booster set box. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It's
the thing I
also
want to
a
ask you real
special
quick.
booster
So if you
box.
buy, do they come in just decks? Can I buy just a deck? How much is a deck? Like I know Blitz for Flesh and Blood, you're talking $12-$13.
You're looking around the same price. One of the big things that they tried to push over here in the West, but the West didn't take to it, was the start decks when Overdress came out were only supposed to be $4.99.
Okay.
And
I'd pick something up like that.
But because of how hard it was to get LGSs in it, they couldn't go for that price, so they had to bump it up to that $12. But a start deck comes with your perfect guards. It comes with 4 copies of your boss unit. It comes with everything you need to play.
Is it one deck, or is there where it sounds like maybe Legions does, where you have 2-player starter decks where you can pull right out of the box and play with a friend?
It's one deck.
Okay, all right. So that's just curious. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
But it comes with everything you need.
But as far as like the packaging goes, like I really like the packaging. I really like how they put the rarities on the back of the
That's cool.
on the back of the packs.
Yeah.
Like that right there is like that's a big one for me.
Well, because I remember my first time opening Legions, my very first time, I had no idea what the hell anything was.
No.
I saw the stars, and I was like, okay, but what are the
Cool.
stars? And I didn't realize till after I went back, I had to get the rule guide, which explained the
all I
rarities and
knew
stuff.
all I knew when I came to Legions was the more stars the better.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and once you got to 4 stars, they were gold.
And that's the
you
kind
know,
of
or silver.
That's
you
kind
know?
of the complex thing with this game is that doesn't really matter. So it's kind of like, okay, so what the shit? What the is this? What it's a super ultra rare, but it doesn't do jack diddly. When we're used to games that have cards like that, there's a reason they have this rarity. Anything else you want to discuss about it? Like, did you at least kind of like the artwork? Even though it's super anime. I mean, I know there's a few you like.
There's a few, but I felt like super uncomfortable too at the same time. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we joke about it, like we have a good time about it, but like, man, some of the flavor text in there, and you're like,
yeah,
I'm a little creeped out right now.
Japanese though.
Yeah,
it is.
And that is very true.
It comes from a totally different culture.
Not weird.
Okay, and
So-
Opal, you've played it for a while. Likes, dislikes about it, like packaging, artwork, whatever. Obviously, I know you love the artwork.
I love the artwork.
Wait, Taylor just said that rarities are on the back of the card packs.
Are they?
Are they really?
I'll be really honest. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care enough to look because I'm impatient and I just rip them open and throw them on the floor like a 2-year-old.
We're sitting here. We didn't even look.
We've never looked because we just like it's Legions. Yeah. Well,
We're so
Can
sorry.
confirm.
well, we're no longer Legion supporters, I guess, are we? We don't even know what you're talking about with
We
Legion.
have been disowned.
We're sorry, Lord Taylor. We're sorry. Please forgive us.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I've never noticed because
I never did either.
I mean, and that's
I
sad
love
too
the
because
front of the artwork. Though.
I think
The
when
front-
we looked at the packaging, we looked at the front, but we never flipped it around to look at the back, which was odd because we did it with this game.
And we did it with
Varia
Vanquishers
and
too,
Vanquishers. Legions is the only one I've never flipped over the back to look because
We
I've
were
just
too
been too
in-
impatient to open
I
it.
feel like
so.
a dum-dum right now.
It's like I told
we were
Taylor today. My
entranced
wife
with the art.
Amber always tells me, "You're dumb, but you're not stupid." But all right,
Wow.
Go ahead.
That's special. Anyways, so
Likes and
what was I
dislikes.
saying? Yeah.
we're gonna edit that. This is the first time I'm gonna edit a video, and I'm gonna edit all that out.
No,
And I'm gonna
don't do
delete.
it.
I'm gonna delete Taylor's comments, making us look stupid. I'm tired. I contacted 13 LGSs today for Legion's Realm
Oh
War.
yeah,
I'm tired and
you
exhausted.
We're doing a
so.
lot. Yeah.
But okay.
So at first and still now, it takes me a little bit. So my focus can be deterred, as we all can tell.
No, you don't say.
So I love Vanguard because this was after Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. This was the card game that all our friends we got into. It was our connection to TCG. So I love this card game, but some of the cards, I do agree with you, it's long-winded. There's a lot of stuff to read, a lot of stuff to memorize, a lot of stuff to be like, okay, well, after I play the deck a few times, yeah, I'm going to know what that card does, bam, 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 it's going to be fine. But at first, especially when you upgrade your decks, it takes a little bit to get used to the newer cards.
Now that you say that, it's interesting. I'm glad you said that. It makes me understand the passion for Vanguard for you guys. It's like our passion for Legions. It's the game that we have memories playing.
Yeah.
You, me, Marcelo, even though he doesn't hate it. It's just not his favorite game. Caleb, like a lot of us have played, and I can see like the passion for the game because that's the games you guys grouped together and played, and there's always something special about games like that.
It
when
keeps us together.
Yeah, and it keeps you together.
I mean,
so there's
it's not
always
the only
that.
thing,
There's
but
always
yeah.
that. Well, yeah, but obviously there's a special bond with this particular game,
Yes.
which is it's interesting you said that. I never really thought of that before as a TCG
Well, you
player.
have to remember, like, it came out when we graduated. We graduated high school in 2010.
So it was like a new milestone.
Yeah, me too. I graduated in 2002.
But
So-
yeah, it was like a new milestone at that point.
And everybody was going off to college or work or something. So this kept us knitted
Yeah.
a bit. I mean, we all stayed in contact
Yeah.
with each other. We all still care for each other. But, you know, life happens. This card game kept us
It probably
close
still does
after
too,
this
right?
game. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that
we
some of those
have-
people that might have moved on to different
Yeah.
states or whatever, I'm sure you guys still probably text them and you guys probably still bullshit about Vanguard a little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
here and
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
So it's really cool that you mentioned that because I've never thought about, you know, you think of the special bonds you have with the people, right, and your friends, but you never think about a special bond that a game gives you as well
Yeah.
that has connected you for like years, you know,
Oh, it
over a
has.
decade for you
Oh, yeah.
guys. So,
Yep.
you know, since 2010. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's
It's
really
been
interesting
12
that
years
you. It's
and
yeah.
we're all still really close knit. Like we've had a couple people, of course, fall off because you know
But that's
life
just life.
happens. But we do have a main majority of our friends that stay close, that we can play this with, that we can talk about.
Yeah.
And it's great.
So you, Ren, I know you love the game, but let me hear your negative about the game.
Negatives. They've made some very, very controversial decisions. So, Standard has introduced a card called the Overtrigger. And it is
You mentioned that too.
I hate
very
that thing.
polarizing. It was designed to be a card that would be a miracle card that would help somebody that was on the brink of defeat come back, pull the card, and be able to mount a comeback. But because of how they implemented it, how the amount of power that they gave it, they made it too strong to the point where if you pull it, whoever pulled it as an attacking card, they're almost always going to win the game because there's almost no coming back.
So it's
from
a game changing.
It's basically
There's
it's almost
no
kind
way
of like
to stop it.
it's
is
kind of
there?
like Vanquisher's V Trigger,
the
where you could pull that out and just boom.
basically
change
the
tides.
only way that you can beat it would be an Overtrigger. But even if
Yeah.
say your opponent pulled it and they got the additional effects that they get for their attack,
Yeah.
not even defending with an Overtrigger will get it. The
Wouldn't
only
work.
way you can defeat it is a perfect guard that nullifies an attack, period.
Because this card gives what?
100 million
100
power, which
million
was
power
such a
point. It's so
stupid value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll get some games in. We got a lot of games to play.
Yes, we do.
For sure. A lot of games to play. But the good thing with Vanguard, I will say, is easy to pick up. Like we've struggled with Varia. I think
Love it, but-
we're starting to get it now.
Yes.
But we're struggling with it a little bit. Genesis we're dabbling in that as well. Which when you're trying to learn the games on your own without tutorials, because that's what you want to do, so you can talk about how easy it was to pick up or not pick up.
Right.
It's a little bit more difficult. But
Right.
Vanguard is one I say is
This one,
pretty
yeah,
easy to pick
it's
up.
pretty self-explanatory, and when it comes to actually knowing what the cards do, and then of course there's little symbols at the top that you gotta kind of know, but there's only 3.
There's technically 4 now because
So,
of that persona right
Just real quick before we end the stream too, for somebody who's been playing it for 12 years.
Mhm.
It's 12 years? Yeah,
12
12 years. What do you think Bushy Rhodes needs to do to westernize this game?
marketing. Because
Okay.
right
Yeah.
now, the only way they market it over here in the
I was-
U.S. is YouTube.
I was gonna say I've never ever seen
YouTube.
anything marketing Vanguard until I went
Or-
online today and it was all Japanese marketing.
Yeah.
Like I never
Yeah.
have seen anything United States
Or
marketing
you can
wise.
find the apps. There's apps that you can play Vanguard, but they're not really
do you,
out.
do you think that?
Yeah, I know.
Do you think
Oh.
that will be the demise of
Jesus
Vanguard at
Christ.
some point?
Yes
or
and
do you
no.
think that Japan will always just keep it as one of their go-to games?
They are expanding because they have taken their producers and they've split it between a Japanese producer and an English producer.
Okay.
That happened this past
that was
fall.
recently, yeah.
And one of the things that is super, super exciting is they've announced that we're actually getting a new video game, like an actual game.
Yeah, I was
to
gonna say I
market
know there's video
on
games
the. It's coming on Steam and it's also going to be on Switch. It's going to encompass everything with standard. So that's going to be.
And I'm
awesome.
assuming it's like an actual like Yu-Gi-Oh on
Yeah.
On Switch and
Yeah.
PlayStation.
It's
going to
give you an
actual
actual
card game.
tutorial
'Cause
at the beginning to do things.
I'm not
It's
gonna
be-
lie. I downloaded the phone app game and
Oh.
then I played it
That's a
once and I
terrible
immediately
one.
deleted
That's
it.
terrible.
I
It's
despise
terrible.
everything.
It
about
was good when it started out, but now it's become such a pay-to-win game. I
It's just-
turn people
as
away
most
from
games
it.
are.
It's horrible.
But
Terrible.
yeah, we don't want to go too much more into time. We're trying to stay under a certain time. But there's a lot going on with this game, and it's always great to have like a super
Nerd.
expert. I wouldn't say nerd. Well, of course we're all nerds, but he's a super expert in Vanguard, which
Yeah.
is always nice to have. Like we had Ryan with Yu-Gi-Oh, which we didn't dabble too much because we talked about Legions, but he's a kind of an expert in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is nice, and Marcelo in Magic. So
Yeah.
and then obviously not us in Legions because we didn't even know rarities on the back of the card. So I mean,
I'm still
we-
mind blown
we
that,
got the
Legion,
rest
that the
of it.
rarities are on the back
I'm
of the
about
bag.
ready
See, now I
to
want to find a deck. Now I want to. Now
Go
I'm
buy a
going
couple
to
packs.
getting
have somebody go buy me a
pack
pack
and-
just so I can look at the back. And there's
Hi,
Marcella
Creeper.
creeping in again.
Wow, I'm out here. I have raid. Goodbye.
All right, see you later, buddy.
Bye.
We're getting ready to stream anyway. So, but yeah,
Wait,
Ren,
good.
thanks for coming by.
Oh, my God.
Thanks for bringing product over to open the booster box. Either way is interesting.
Yeah.
It's definitely a game I play. and we'll continue to play.
We gotta build you a deck.
We just have so many games that we're trying to learn during our lunch breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
But
And
it's definitely a game if you guys were like, hey, you want to get together and play? I was like, yeah, I'll play a few hands, and then we'd move into something else. But thanks for coming by. Thanks for showing it off. Thanks for your knowledge in it, because I would sit here and thumb through this stuff and just be like, obviously, like I was with the Legion's packs, I don't know what the hell I was talking about. So yeah, he's dumbfounded right now. I could tell he was sitting there thinking. He was sitting there thinking earlier, like I could see in his face. He was probably thinking, like, I'm trying to remember all those booster boxes, Legions I opened, and I never once. We opened like 7, 8 boxes, and we never once took the pack and flipped it over just to look at it. He's lashing himself in his mind right now.
Yeah,
you know.
pretty much.
But I appreciate everybody in chat. I want to say one thing before we end the stream, and I think I want to say this because Bushi Roads and Vanguard is just one of those games that are, if you love a game, you have to promote it. You have to go to your LGSs. You have to put the word out. I've been super frustrated the last couple weeks when I see communities talk about these games they love and adore and want more of, but don't put in the work to push that game.
Yeah.
Yes, life gets us busy. I have 4 kids. I have a full-time job. I have a sick wife. Kaleb has a business. He has a family. You have kids. You have a life. You have kids. You have a life. Work. We're busy. It's not hard to go onto social media, find a local LGS in your area, surrounding area, contact them about the games you love, whether it be Vanguard, Legion's Realms at War, Genesis, Varia, Gem Blenders, all these games we cover, Vanquishers. It's not hard to go and say, hey, have you guys checked out this game? This is what it's about. This is what the company offers. It's not hard to do. It's not going to grow if you don't promote it. We put so much time and effort into the games that we love. Varia, Legions, Genesis, we make video, and that's great. But videos only go so far. Especially small content creators like us who get like maybe 100, maybe a couple hundred views. Yeah, in the grand scheme, that 1 view, 200 views can spread. But you got to do more than make videos and talk about it. You have to go play these games at your LGS. You have to bring them to your attention because they're never going to know about them if they don't. Even Vanguard, I could probably walk to an LGS right now and some LGS would be like, "That shit is this game?" Because they just don't know. Because the marketing's been so terrible for it.
Exactly.
But that's what's been frustrating me in all these different communities I go to is nobody wants to take the time and everything. They want from the company,
But
from the
never give.
creators, but they never want to give back. Because they don't know what these people go through to develop these games. They think that it's the creator's job to create this game, all the expansions that go with. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little irritated.
I'm gonna get
all
hit
these
one of
expansions
times,
that
and
go
we're
with
gonna see
it. The manufacturers they have to talk to, the printing companies they have to talk to, crimping packages by themselves if they have to make these games. They don't see all the work that we don't see because they don't care because they just want to play the game and enjoy the game, which is great. But you don't know what goes on behind the scenes with these companies and how hard they work. You think that these companies have time to reach out to every single LGS in the entire world? No. They don't.
Well,
so it's our job as lovers of these games, as community members, to spread the word of these games. And I'm telling you, I'm getting real. Oh man, I'm getting aggravated because I've seen it in so many different games. And the bad thing is, some of these games, in the end, they put so much passion into us, and we didn't give back that they fail. Polywog is a perfect example. It's already closed the doors. It's already, no more. We've seen games like that come and go. Games that I liked, that I was really intrigued by. And a lot of these games that we cover now, Varia, Legions, Genesis, Vanquishers, if something happened to some of those games, I'd be pretty upset because I've got this special connection and bond between some of these people. They become strangers, then they become friends, and then some of them become even family. And when you see all that work and it's not given back to them, it just pisses me off so bad. I mean, I'm getting emotional talking about it. I don't even know why.
Look, Lord Taylor says, "We love you."
Yeah, man, it's just been a frustrating thing to see because you guys don't dabble in Discord as much as I do. I am in a lot of different Discords for a lot of different games, and usually I just sit back and I look at the messages, and I look, and it's funny when you see, well, I want this, well, I want this, I'd like to see this. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing to help the game give you that? Nothing. You're just bitching and moaning and complaining, and you're not doing anything to help the game, and it pisses me off. Like I said, I sit back in a lot of Discords, I don't say anything, and then some of the Discords, when I see it, I get passionate, I get angry. I'm like, look, why don't you do something about it? How hard is it to reach out to an LGS? How hard is it to call somebody, to go drive? We have a trip planned up to Camden.
Yep.
It's 2 hours away. You think gas prices are like fucking almost $6, man? I don't want to particularly drive to Camden for, with the way gas prices are. Luckily, we got an electric car. Hey-o. So gas might not cost me jack diddly. If Amber lets me borrow. But that's the thing, but that's the work we're willing to put in. But we can't do it by ourselves. The creators can't do it by themselves. We can only do so much.
Right.
And I'm sorry to went on that rant, but it's just about something that's been on my mind. And then talking about Vanguard tonight and how it's more Easternized than Westernized, it kind of frustrates you, I'm sure, as a player, as a fan of the game. Yeah. And I feel the same way with some of the games that we covered and we're passionate about and that we actually love.
One of the things that I like with watching you guys' videos to see the passion, because I can see the mirrors that you guys are going
I can't
through.
tell you how many times, I'm not a crier. I'm not a crier. My wife will tell you, Andrew doesn't cry. I don't know if it's my old age kicking in. I don't know if it's, getting the relationships behind these companies and the people. Yeah. Where I've choked up a few times on stream. I'm choking up right now because it pisses me off watching these people not give a shit about these games. And it's like, one day it's not going to be there. And that's going to affect us. That's our shit. That's what we enjoy. And it's gone because people didn't give a fuck about it. And, man, maybe it's time to end the stream because it's...
Oh, it'll be all right.
But, if you love something, man, push it.
Yep.
Give back to the people that give to you. Legion, man, they've given us so much shit. Cards and booster boxes.
Everybody has. They've been so nice to us.
People that don't know us, man. Genesis, Varia, the Gem Blenders, all these companies, they don't know us from assholes from elbows, man. But they watch our content and they love our passion and that we care and our honesty, and they send us shit to review and talk about. And like I said, man, they give so much, and that's money out of their pocket. This is something Gem Blenders could have sold, right? How many booster boxes of Legions have we got? That's hundreds, maybe even up in $1,000 of stuff they could share, they could sell. They're sending us Frontier stuff to show off on our stream. Yeah. Varia sent us
little
7, 8, 9 boxes or 9 decks to look at. Vanquishers sent us cards to look at, to review. And that's what I'm saying, Genesis, man. Genesis sent us playmats. They sent us cards. They're sending us an LGS in Canada who just loved our content so much. I don't know if we're superstars in Canada, but he's like, Andrew doesn't buy product online. I'm going to send him product. That dude, when I saw that, man, I was like, holy crap, that's awesome. But that's what I'm saying, man. Put in, give back. Don't just sit there and be complain about a goddamn game and what you want to see and what you like. Yeah, man. But if you want those things and you want that game to stick around, do something about it, man. Yeah. Put in some damn work. We can't be the only ones that put in work for these games.
Share it everywhere.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's just go around to different Discords.
You're on your phone all the time anyways.
Yeah. Facebook posts that shit. Instagram, Twitter. I do it every day for all these games that we cover. Every single game, all day. I spend probably 75% of my day on social media promoting these games, creating graphics and videos and all this shit for them. And when you don't see it back, it sucks. Yeah. And it's frustrating, and it starts to bother you.
Okay, it's going to start bothering me.
Yeah, so we better end the stream before I start crying like a freaking girl, because I got super choked up right there, man.
We're both going to start crying, come on.
Caleb's like, I don't know what to do. I'm getting uncomfortable. I might start crying too. We got to end the stream. But you see what I'm saying, right?
No,
like,
I understand.
It's just so frustrating. Like we were going to end the stream in an hour, and then I'm at 13 minutes of a rant of anger because, like I said, the frustration of a game that's been out for 12 years.
I couldn't imagine these games.
And nobody here carries it, and you're like, boy, I'd just like to walk into a store and buy it, but nobody wants to push it and promote it.
That's the hard thing, because having to do that, you're like, okay, well, I have to be the supplier. I have to get all these cards, and I have to be the one to get people in, because that's the only way I can do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, if you love something, you're passionate about it, man, push it, man. Like, that's what you have to do. You have to promote these games in any way you can. Everybody has damn social media. Post, I really love Legion's Realms of War. Hey, my local LGS, have you checked it out? I really like Varia. I really like Genesis. Have you checked it out? No, what's it about? Well, let me tell you. How long does it take? Five damn minutes to discuss something like that, you know? It's just frustrating. I'm going to go off my rant. So, as we say, and I'm feeling it right now.
We love all of y'all.
Yeah, you all are great. All the companies that says stuff. Anthony from Varia, the Charlie, Jason, everybody from Vanquishers, Taylor from Legions, Joey and Sid from Genesis. All you guys, man. Ben from Gem Blenders. Like, I remember everybody's names. We appreciate everything you guys do for us, and we're trying to give back. And because in life, like, you don't want to die and be like, well, I probably took more than I gave. Right? Nobody wants to live that life.
No.
Like I want to die, and when I die, like, I'm not a religious person at all. Everybody knows that about me. I don't believe in any of that stuff. But at least when I die and I'm sitting on my deathbed, I'm going to be like, man, I took a lot from people. I took a lot from life, but I didn't give back. Like, I don't want to think of that when I'm lying on my deathbed.
It's like my mom always says, man. You gotta pay it forward.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So push to your damn LGSs. Start putting in the work if you love these games. Show them that you love the game. Show the communities and the creators that you love these games, and push them. That's all you can do. So I'm feeling it right now. I wish I had a D20 to pick up. I don't have any sitting around here. And so remember, as we say at the end of all our videos, when life has you down, pick up that D20, roll for initiative, and game on, my friends. We will see you guys next week with a brand new video. And again, thanks, Ren, for showing up. And guys, say goodbyes.
Goodbye.
See y'all later.
All my stress.